Good morning, everyone. I hope you all have a good breakfast for today. So welcome to APSA Standing Committee on Seed Technology Technical Session. Well, let me just introduce myself again. My name is Kuna. I'm the Technical Coordination Manager of APSA, and I'll be here with you today. So without further delay, may I invite the Seed Technology Chair and Co-Chair, Mr. Johan van Ashbrook and Dr. Manish Patel to be on the stage, please. Mr. Johan is the chair of ASC Standing Committee for Seed Technology, and he is the executive president of Rung Ryung Consultant Rhino Research. As the executive president of Rhino Research, Mr. Johan has also worked as a collaborator and as a principal investigator on horticulture innovation lab projects related to seed drying. And Dr. Manish Patel, our co-chair of Standing Committee for Seed Technology, he is also the vice president of AFSA and director of Incotech India. He is also one of the founding directors of Gujarat Seed Valley. So please, the chair and co-chair, the floors are yours.
Thank you very much, Kuna. A good morning to everyone. And we heard it probably already multiple times. It's always nice to see people coming back after 2-3 years of living without an APSA Congress. Seed technology is an important part. It gives every company the possibility to bring the right quality to farmers, to overcome problems, to prevent a lot of difficult things. This committee finally becomes a powerful tool within the belt of APSA. It becomes a powerful tool because we see more and more people being interested, coming to us, becoming a member, and doing the difference. As a fact, last year, last 12 months, we had 3 webinars on different topics in seed technology. And we reached easily 100, 150 people each time. That is a unicum in the time of our committee. I remember the beginning where we were happy if we had 20 people. Now we get 150 without problem. That proves that the work we do makes a difference. I hope and I believe very strongly myself that the next 2-3 hours will be very interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I want to hear more about the APSA Seed Academy, a project that is, in my opinion, a wonderful project and a wonderful possibility for all of us. So we will hear about that. And after that, we will go a little bit further into those 3 webinars we had before. And we will discuss different topics there. So I don't going to talk much longer. My voice is gone almost anyway, almost. But please enjoy the talks, be proactive, ask questions. If you have some comments to make, please do so, participate, because this is now the time to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Johan. Good morning once again. We are running a bit late, so I'll just open up the second agenda, which is APSA Seed Academy. This APSA Seed Academy is a newborn baby, I would say, which we came across the thoughts while we were under pandemic, staying at our home and doing work from the home. At the same time, we were having very active periods in the committee, and we had a lot of discussions and webinars going on. And then we realized seed technology is something where constantly we have to keep upgrading the knowledge, skill, and also we have to keep encouraging the industry and the members of APSA to enhance the quality of seeds. And that's not possible without the knowledge. And that's why this thought of Seed Academy came in picture, where we thought, why don't we create a central database within APSA where members can enjoy the knowledge sharing, member can learn a lot of new knowledge and the skill. And this APSA Seed Academy is all about kind of a small academic institute, I would say, within the APSA. And that's owned and run by our committee, Standing Committee on Seed Technology. And today I would like to give you a more brief about this by one of our committee members, Dr. Sandeep. Dr. Sandeep is basically a doctorate in seed science and technology. And currently he has been operating his responsibility as a group head seed technologies within East West. And he has been active in the committee more than now half decades, I think. He has spent almost 2 decades in the seed science and technology in various capacity, starting from productions, operations, quality controls, and quality assurance. Also was a part of research. So he has a thorough knowledge on seed tech. I request Dr. Sandeep to come on the stage and to highlight the programs of APSA Seed Academy. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning, co-chair and chair, and good morning to all of you. So let me quickly introduce myself. I think Dr. Manish Patel has already introduced me a bit. So I am an active member of the Standing Committee on the Seed Technology, which is under APSA. I'm also heading the East-West group for the plant processing and seed technology research, and include the safety on that one. So here again, on behalf of the APSA Standing Committee, and I would like to welcome you all here, and thanks for your time. And again, thanks to chair and co-chair for giving me this opportunity today to take you through a very interesting academy program, which we are going to launch here. And this is, like chair and co-chair already said, this is the churning actually came out of 2 years of discussion under the SC, ST committee. So let me put. So I was looking actually on the 14th day, we have a EPSA workshop, and I was looking there. There was a lot of discussion around the how to attract the talent in the seed industry. And it was a very important discussion. There was a lot of great people talking about that. Even there was some youngster university graduate was talking about that. So I was very fascinating about that. My view is very important that we attract the talent, but also it's equally important to keep this talent retained in your organizations. So for me, these both the parts are very important. And here we will be talking actually that what the new generation is looking for. So the new generation is not really chasing the earnings. Actually, if you ask me, they are looking for learnings and developments, and the rest of the things will follow them. They would like to contribute to the society, to the organizations, by which they can give back to the society from their learning. So for me, this is a very important aspect. And I also learned that the whole seed industry is growing by 6.6%. And if we talk about vegetable seeds, we are growing by 9.5%. But we have to introspect whether we are growing in same way with our talent, whatever the talent pool you have in your countries and your companies. So for me, the employee skills is very important. Sorry, hold on, just. So I just recall, actually, you might have seen in the internet a lot of quotations about the the CFO is asking the CEO actually, what happens if we invest in the people, in their development and learning, but finally they leave us, you know? So we have heard it many times. And I really like the CEO reply that, okay, this is fine, but what happens if we don't invest and they still stay with us? So I think it's a kind of the brainstorming questions. So for me, the learning and development on the technical aspect is also very important. And this investment is, if you're not investing, the risk is more. This is my thinking. And for me, it's like a firefighting actually. So if you talk about that, so how many people really know about the fire extinguisher, you know, how to use it? So it's a 10-minute training how to use the fire extinguisher, but it's not there, you know, the people don't know about it. Similarly, for me, the skill training is also very important and it's bring a fortune to the companies. So let me jump you on the outline of this program. So what is the mission about the Seed Academy program? Very important program. So here we would like to coordinate with our stakeholders to organize the Seed Technology training courses for EPSA active members, the government officials, the student, and the public institutes. Both the training will be given the physical and also on the online platform, and to build the capacity of the Seed Technology among the organizations. And this will be done under a kind of the branding, which we can say a certified Seed Technologies program. What are our objectives around that? So in EPSA SCST, we would like to be a hub for the Seed Technology in the APAC region, definitely with our partners, because we have a lot of partners. So they will be helping us to develop these things. We would like to have a capacity building, not only on the theoretical, but also on the practical aspect, and focusing on the Seed Technology and allied area. This includes the knowledge of the seed technology, quality assurance, seed processing, but not limited to that. We are also looking for the IPR, international seed trade, quarantine for the student and the members of the EPSA organizations. So this is our mission around that. So in the short term, what we are looking for that. So this program we developed in a short term and long term, what really we want to do around Seed Academy program. So if you ask me in the short term, we are looking for the webinar series, which is already going on, like chair and co-chair also pointed about the success of these webinar, what we are doing. And these webinars are related again to the seed technology, the quality assurance, sampling, seed testing, inventory management, warehouse management, and the added value like seed enhancement and around this area. And we are also tackling like we talked about, the seed health is also a very important part right now. In addition to that, we are also looking for hands-on training, the practical sessions in combination with the University Connect program. So these all things, and these webinar, we are doing yearly 3 webinars. This exclude the EPSA Congress technical session, and this each webinar lasts for 2 hours. So in the long-term program, so in the long-term program, we are really looking to certify a person as a seed technologist. And for me, this is a very prestige for the Asia Pacific region. It's very tough to get a ready-made talent from the university. So we're looking how we can make it. So it's a kind of the long-term comprehensive program on the seed technology, which provides the fundamental and the practical knowledge to the participant. And this will be a kind of the diploma program where the participant can also get a kind of the certificate with that. It's a full course for the certified seed technologists that includes all the aspects of the seed technology. It goes from the receiving of the seed to processing, conditioning, and seed testing, warehousing, and packaging, seed enhancement, and quality assurance, even handling the quality issues in the companies. And this course will be around the fundamental knowledge, giving the candidate what kind of fundamental knowledge we can give them. We are also looking the practical trainings in coordination with the university or the public sector. Definitely, we will also tackle the regulatory aspect of the training, because the regulatory, the plant quarantine, and a lot of issues are around that. So the participants should be fully aware about these all things. So what is our working plan around that? So I would like to first thanks actually the EPSA EPSA Executive Committee that they already approved the Seed Academy program. So thanks to the EC committee of EPSA. So here our plan is around that we will be partnering with the EPSA stakeholder like ICR, ISTA, and the universities, and for creating the content and all the things around that. We will be also linking this program with the University Connect program of the SIG batch, ornamental and SIG field crops, and also it will be connected to the National Seed Associations. Definitely, there will be a fees and examination taken with the participant to bring their commitment with the course and content. And the next one will be the kickoff of this program. Just quickly, I will take you through the activities, what we have done and what we are planning around that. So if you see that, like we were talking about the seed technology webinar, and in 2021 and 22, you will see there some of the topics, very brilliant topic. 21 April, we conducted a seed health webinar. There we have given a fundamental knowledge about the seed-borne pathogens. We talk about what are the economic importance for the trade of these pathogens and how we can really detect those pathogens. So that was very important. In July 2021, we have given a webinar with a renowned speaker from around the globe. That was on the seed applied technology. So we were looking for the power of the coating. Actually, you will see a lot of seed coating, but what we can do with the coating, we can do a lot. So that was a really great webinar. September, we have the webinar on the physical and physiological seed upgrading. So every industry, every seed company is facing a challenge when their inventory get poor. So how we can revive the seed and make them sellable. So there was a lot of discussion around that, a lot of practical tips for the seed industry. In the 2022, we have a 3 webinar, seed dormancy. That was very important again for most of you. You're facing a lot of challenges with the seed dormancy. So what are the causes, how we can prevent it from the field itself, how we can prevent the primary and secondary dormancy. So that was very interesting, and a lot of practical tips around that, how we can overcome the dormancy. Then in August, we have again a very interesting webinar on the digital tools. You know, every area of the scientific arena is looking for digital tools, and seed technology is not, you know, untouched from that one. So we had a great webinar, how the digital tools can enable you to make your better decision, how they can make you revive your seed batches and check the quality, you know, quite fast to reduce the lead time. So there were multiple things we have tackled. And then in October, we were having a very different topic about the nanotechnology, which is going to be a big science revolution also in the seed technology. So we also tackled that one. So just on, I want to show you the aesthetics of these ones. Mr. Chair told it was 150, but he could not remember well. We were having a great participant. I'm not sure how much this slide is clear, but if you see the 2021 versus 2022, we have more participants in these webinars. These participants was from the companies of the EPSA members, and also the lot of the student and public sector into that. If you see our webinar in 22 January, we were having 310 participants in that webinar. So that was a wonderful webinar, and we will be continuing those all kind of webinars. So the other things, because the learning, we want to make sure that the participant maximize their learning, because whenever you attend a webinar, after some time, it goes down. The knowledge is in the slides and you don't look into that one. So with the secretariat from EPSA and SCST committee, we were able to identify the best digital tools for the Seed Academy program, where all the webinars of seed technology, field crops, R&D will be uploaded in the system, and the participant can download those presentations, the recordings. They can have a QA recordings, QA sessions, and QA answers from those tools. And there is a wonderful things that each participant or each candidate can see the progress of their learning, how it is going on, how many milestones I have completed. and it will be rewarded as a certificate after completing those courses also online. So for me, this is also a very important tool, and I would like to thank the Secretariat for that one. So I will not take further time. So what is next? So next is the official launching is going to be in January 2023. So what I will request you people to start identifying the talent or which you want to make a talent in your organizations. Wait for the information from the APSA Secretariat or SCST committee. And we will be happy to enroll as much as candidates coming from the seed industry, public and private sectors. So I will take a pause here. And if you have any additional questions around the seed academy program, please feel free to ask right now, or you can ask later to the secretary or ask the chair, co-chair, or the members around here. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Very much, Sandeep. This is one proof how we start to work within our committee. So we are really looking forward for your comments, questions, remarks, suggestions. Please give us your support. Give us your ideas, because at the end, we do all this for you. This brings us to the second part, where we will have a panel discussion with some people from within our committee. And the panel discussion will go about some of the topics you have already seen in the previous speaker when we talked about the webinars. We will have 4 people in that panel. And the first one is going to talk about seed production and seed process, how to do that technology and how can we play on this. The second speaker will then look more a little bit deeper into what we learned about seed dormancy and seed storage. The third speaker will then take more a look into all this really a big world of seed enhancement. And the last, but definitely not the least, we're going to talk about how to make sure that you have the right technology for your business. Because we can talk about many technologies, but as a company, you will have to choose. So how to choose what is the way to make sure that you have the right technologies implementing at your company. So the first speaker is Dr. Ashley Fraser. He is the chair of the Southeastern Region Australian Seed Federation. He is a managing director of Baker Seed, and he is a very valuable member of our committee. He will give first a very short introduction about the topics he will cover, and so we go further. Be aware, at the end, those 4 panelists will be here to answer your questions, going further with your remarks. So, but now, without any further waiting, Ashley, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Johan, and thank you very much for having me present here at the Asian Seed Congress. And thank you to my fellow APSA committee, Seed Technology Committee members. It's been a wonderful experience. I'm new to the committee, and Johan was kind enough to introduce me as a doctor. I am assure you, I'm not a doctorate. We are a family farming business with seed production and seed processing and sales in the southeastern part of Australia. I'm going to talk to you today about some of the newer, I guess, tools that we have around seed production. And I must admit, I'm always envious of my horticulture colleagues, because most of the technology that we see in field crop has its roots in horticulture. And it's only when that technology becomes cost effective that we start to see it become a reality in field crops. But I'm also excited to see that we're also taking technology, not from horticulture, but also from the automotive industry, the military and so forth, with some of our guidance technology and so forth having its roots in defence. As Johan said, I'm Managing Director of Baker Seeds. And I want to start with some of the I guess the use of DNA within our cropping systems and our breeding techniques. What we're doing now is combining genetic knowledge with traditional breeding methods, which is seeing a large increase and advancement in resistance to diseases. This does enable us to look at our bigger rates with a lot more detail. We can see our phenology, and we know that our seed coatings give us better crop establishment. We know that they're giving us evenness of flowering and control of pest and disease. But now we're actually able to improve rhizobia life with the use of shortwave infrared drying beds. And I think these will be revolutionary as we go into the future. Some of the other tools that we have, we're all familiar with our colour sorters, but we're also now learning how to use colour sorters to not only just distinguish the physical differences, but also to actually take out off types within the seed lot, and then greatly reducing the work that we have to do in the field. Another fantastic tool that we have is the HoloLens, a simple holographic camera that is produced by Microsoft. But this is revolutionary in businesses that are operating in remote areas. We're always seeing a difficulty in finding really skilled seeds people, crop inspectors and the like, and to have that ability to see in real time and reach out and touch virtually what those inspectors are seeing in the paddock is an absolute game changer for us from both training and just simply getting a second opinion in real time in the paddock from anywhere in the world. We're seeing drones ever increasing in their uptake. And this is largely driven in field crops by significant increases in fertilizer cost, significant increases in chemical cost, in fuel cost, and also our decreasing access to labour, particularly post-pandemic. And drones are certainly seeing that adaptation within our cropping from a perspective that we're able to swarm with those drones. So that's using multiple drones to access analytics through use of multi-spectrum light analysis and cameras right through, and then also where our satellites and DVI technology come into that with our green on green detection and being able to identify pests, hotspots of pests and disease in paddocks, and then be able to send out multiple drones to then provide application to control those issues. I guess, what does all this measurement and so forth do? It creates an enormous amount of data. And I think this is certainly going to be the next frontier. And from a field crop perspective, it's being able to utilize all that data and get the software there that's actually user friendly that we can use to effectively implement all of these and understand all of these measurements that we're taking. And I guess I'll finish with a challenge to our industry is to create that software that's available for all of us to use in our seed production. Thank you.
Ashley, please take a seat. Your colleagues will come soon, one by one. The second person I would like to invite is Professor Umarani Sinia. She is the president of the National Seed Association in Malaysia and a professor at the Department of Crop Science, University of Putra, Malaysia. She is going to talk about seed dormancy, seed storage. And she is, of course, also a member of our Seed Technology Committee. Umarani, please. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Johan and Dr. Manish. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. Thank you to the APSA and the Standing Committee for giving me this opportunity to say a few words to y'all. As you all know, seed technology is actually a very big word. It actually encompasses many areas, many factors. And as Dr. Sandeep showed you all in the slides just now, the committee is actually trying to highlight different aspects of seed technology. So last year, we actually did a comprehensive one on seed dormancy. And perhaps today, I will just highlight a few things and then leave it to you all to go back and watch the webinar, the recordings to get the details of what is there. Well, dormancy, I think, is something known to everyone, right? It's a scenario or a situation where seeds do not germinate despite we have given them all the favorable conditions, right? So there's a lot of things to understand here as to why a seed that is viable does not germinate. And of course, in nature, this is beautiful, right? It gives them the space to germinate as and when they want. But when we come to crop production, this is considered a bad thing, a major disadvantage. And therefore, dormancy breaking is something that we look into. Now, why does it have to be broken? And, you know, why do we want good germination? Basically, because it causes delayed germination, and then we have non-uniform seed stand establishment. I think that is the main thing, which will cascade into other issues of delayed harvesting and all those things, right? And this are some of the reasons why dormancy happens. And I repeat, we covered this in very detail during the webinar, right? And there are many terms that you may want to know in dormancy: primary dormancy, secondary dormancy, and stuff like that. Exogenous dormancy, endogenous dormancy. What are those? How do you overcome that? And so on, so forth. And understanding dormancy will also actually help. For example, we have the next speaker talking about seed enhancement, right? And they need to incorporate priming, which is a method to break dormancy in order to ensure that the enhancement works well. Well, I won't, in the interest of time, I won't go into detail, but I think you can see this whole list of reasons why dormancy can occur. Right, just a very quick one on dormancy breaking treatment. Again, this is a very big area, and there are multiple things that we can look at on how to break dormancy, right? So usually when we look at a seed, you have three important parts: the outer layer, the testa, the storage component, the endosperm cotyledon, and the embryonic axis. So each of these parts can contribute to dormancy in different ways. And then the breaking is actually something that we look at based on what is causing the dormancy. So you would come across the seed coat related treatments, embryo related treatments, right? Which will then include chemical, physical treatments and so on, right? So every seed will require different ways of treating. Now, I'll stop with the dormancy here, but I would encourage you to go to the APSA website and look into the dormancy webinar, which has a lot of information. Now, very quickly, I was asked also to cover storage. So just 1 minute on that, I guess, right? We all know that we need to store seeds, right? It's very important. And obviously, storage again is a big area. This is one that we haven't covered yet in the Seed Technology Committee. And as audience, if you think it's an important topic, do let us know, and we will try and organize a webinar on that. My last 2 words, talking about storage. Moisture is very important. Storage, temperature is very important, but very often the culprit is humidity, particularly if you're looking at the tropical condition. Storage is very much depending on where you store in relation to humidity. Of course, this will take you into drying and other related aspects, but I'll leave that for further discussion. Right? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Umarani. Please take a seat. The third speaker is Dr. Tomoko Sakata from Incotech. She is Research and Technology Manager of Incotech APAC. And she is, of course, also a very valuable member in our committee. Please, she will talk about seed enhancements. In the meantime, while she's coming on the podium, everyone which is a member from APSA can go to the website and can still look to all those webinars. So you can do that. It's a good tool for you and your company.
Yeah, thank you very much. Great introduction of me. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. I'm Tomoko Sakata. Today, I want to introduce the idea of the seed enhancement. Nowadays, seed enhancement is very popular. However, its definition is not clear, and it's including very wide technology. So today, I want to share some of the ideas how to use the seed enhancement and what is the key to success in this area. This is a seed enhancement. Seed enhancement is a process. Can I use it? Seed enhancement is the technology which will be done after seed production, and which is including physical. Sorry, can I use the pointer? Yeah, to improve the physical purity, germination vigor, and the plant health. And after that, we can apply additional value like improve the efficiency, effectively and safely apply agrochemical and additive and biological to maximize the seed performance. That is a very simple definition, which we can say as a seed enhancement. However, if we see the deeply about this, maybe we can have more idea how to use this technology to get the proper performance of the seed. Of course, as Ashvi explained, seed production process is the most important phase to get the nice quality of the seed. However, sometimes climate challenging happen, or something disease issue happen, insect attack happen. In such a case, you have risk not to get the proper quality of the seed. In such a case, seed enhancement technology would be very helpful to improve the seed quality. And sometimes we can add more value on the seed. So after finishing the seed production, normally seed company do the standard cleaning process of the seed to remove the inert matter or broken seed like that. After that, to improve the germination more and more, seed companies start using the seed upgrading technology, like to X-ray or multispectral image analysis to improve the seed quality and to get a higher germination capacity. And if seed have dormancy issue, priming is very helpful to get the proper germination. Yeah, after that, seed need to be healthy. Therefore, first, seed need to be disinfected. If seed is infested by the pathogen or seed-borne disease, we cannot get the proper germination. And if seed is sown in the soil, and if soil have something disease, seed have risk to be infested by the pathogen from the soil. Therefore, seed need to be protected nicely with fungicide or something protection, like using the film coating with precise amount of the agrochemical. And the film coating technology is very helpful to give the safer condition for the seed. And that is a very environmental friendly and sustainable technology for the soil, for the environment, for people as well. Yeah, after getting the healthy condition, after that, we can start the next step to improve the efficiency of the planting. This is the technology which is usable to improve the planting efficiency. It's called encrusting and pelleting. Then we can sow the seed one by one precisely. For such technology, higher germination seed is really necessary. After finishing this process, we can start considering about additional value like priming, and we can include the something additional value material like a biological nanomaterial, pesticide, biostimulant, biofertilizer, micronutrients like that. We can include such material inside of the encrusting and the film coating layer. Then we can add more higher performance of the seed. And recently, we have challenging of the climate attack, insect attack and the climate changing. And sometimes you have heat stress, drought stress. Maybe such additional additive are very helpful to get the stable germination at such a suboptimal condition. So can you see the bottom area? So seed enhancement, a key to success is of course seed production. Seed production, if something issue happen in seed production, we cannot get the proper seed quality. If seed quality is not proper, it is not worthwhile to add something additional value by seed enhancement. So first, seed quality need to be good to apply seed enhancement technology. If seed quality is nice, we can possibly add more value by this technology. That would be the key to success in the seed enhancement technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tomoko. Please take your seat, and I would like now to leave the floor to the last speaker, the most valuable co-chair we always had, Dr. Manish Patel. Manish, floor is yours.
Good morning. Happy to see that all the tables are full now by the time my turn comes. So being the last speaker, challenge is what to say, especially since all the three panelists has covered most of the things. And I think the area which I'm going to cover is, what is the right technology for your business? Now, this is very broad question, not easy to answer, since everyone is in different business domain. Maybe someone is just starting a business, someone is already at very high level of matured business established in the market with a very good brands. But still, I would like to say here, which is applicable to all, and maybe you can pick up some of the tips from there, and then we have a chance to do panel discussion. So when it comes to seed, we all knew it's all about quality. And I think in the seed business, there are some brands which are very popular in the market, some brands which are still upcoming and not so popular. Of course, some brands were very popular in the past and now nobody knows about it. Why it is like that? The answer is the quality that speaks in the farmer's field. Some brands were so consistent in giving and delivering the quality to the farmers. And over a period of time, they really built a very high level of reputations. And that's not an overnight job. And that's where I think my topic comes, because if you are choosing the right technology for each of your seed operation, which is starting from seed production itself, till the time that seeds reaches to the farmers in your packing, in your brand, at every steps, you have to be choosy to use the right technology. And then only I think you can deliver the right quality to the farmers. And that will help to create your brand. Now, the speakers over here has already covered, the first speakers was talking on the production. And I think seed technologist has to play a role from production till the seeds reaches to the farmers. So in the productions, basically, there are a lot of issues being faced by the industry. And it's always with the male and female, or maybe if it's OP varieties, there are challenges of same level which the farmers are facing. Sometimes there are issues with the dormancies, sometimes issues with the synchronization of the flowering. So those issues, and again, productions areas are getting limited. Everyone wants to increase the productivity per acre or per hectare in the productions. And that's where, again, seed enhancement and those technologies will play a vital role. And it's all depends upon what technologies need to be used so that production become more economical and more efficient. And for that, few observations need to be taken care of, which is mainly, the area where the productions are being conducted, what kind of agronomical practices are being done by the farmers. And third, the climate factors, which is very important. And now we all knew there are many tools available to fight against all these variations, which is some of them are man-made, some of them are natural, and we do have a solutions for all of them. And especially productions is something, production and post-productions are within the limit or within the hands of the company, and they can control it very well by adopting the right solution. And when it comes to the production stage and then after harvesting, then again, the most important question is the physical purity from where it starts. And there are a lot of technology available. What kind of machineries, what kind of sortings need to be done. Since in a seed technology, the thumb rule is very clear. If you really achieve the good quality from production itself, then I think you can add a lot of value on that seeds. It's based on the same principle like, garbage in, garbage out. So if you really produce the high quality seeds within your productions, within your processing facilities, and then you adopt certain technology which can add value or which can resolve some problems being faced by the market, then I think that brand can compete in the market very easily. So starting from production, coming back to the processing and storing and storage, where I think many research have been done, many technologies are available for storage techniques. And I think it's a very common questions being asked by the seedsman. What kind of storage conditions are good for my seeds? So for this kind of, questions, we do have a lot of webinars within APSA. And I think for every seats, we have to go always a tailor-made approach. And it depends on in the which, level you want to adopt it, since technologies are available. But then again, the question is whether it's economically feasible or not. And it comes to storage techniques. Yes, that's directly related to the quality performance and also the viability of the seats, where various technologies can play a vital role. Of that, cold storage, which is very common nowadays, where people are storing the seeds as of now. But again, now we are thinking about carbon footprints, which is again a major challenge. And then how to make it more sustainable based on green energy or maybe some other techniques, so that we can store the seeds for a longer period without affecting its quality. And at the end, once the seeds are ready to ship to the markets, yes, that's where the major challenge, because nowadays seed companies are getting so often a lot of complaint, I would say, in terms of germination rates. Sometimes seeds are not coming at the right times under certain temperature or certain changing conditions. My colleague has already mentioned a couple of seed enhancement technology, and those technologies are available in the domain for many, many years. But as a seed technologist, I always say we have to follow the rule of more from less. So how can you achieve the better performance of your genetics by adding less resources or less inputs on it, which might be a fungicide, which might be a fertilizer, which might be a kind of an agronomical practice. And it's always possible, because now in recent years, we have come across so many new biologicals. We have come across technology called nanotechnologies. We have come across the new way of doing priming, for examples. So everything is getting, from its initial levels to the new level. And that's really opening up a door of a lot of new possibilities. And it's always up to the business house, what to adopt, what to deliver in the markets. And for that, I strongly recommend, like when you launch any new genetics in the market, you always do some market survey. And you try to understand which segment is going on, and accordingly you choose the genetics. So while doing selection of genetics, you keep in mind a couple of factors. Same thing here, while choosing the technology for your business, you have to really do a strong survey of the markets, mainly the farmers to whom your seeds are going to deliver. Try to understand what agronomical practices farmers are following, what kind of equipments they are going to use, what kind of climates they are going to grow your seeds. And also the changing scenarios of the climate, where rain can happen at any times, temperature may drop, temperature may go high beyond the limits. And accordingly, you have to choose the right package to put on your seeds. Many new chemistries are available to be put on the seeds. Of course, synthetic chemicals slowly is going away from the farming and agriculture. And since everyone wants the sustainable food productions, and I think we do have a limited choice when it comes to the chemical. But seed technology is the only area where I think we can, again, find a lot of alternatives to replace the chemical, to replace certain way of working, which is there for many years. But by adopting a simple technologies, we can resolve those challenges. So with this, I would say your selection of the technology for your seeds, for the chosen market, if it's right, then I think you can set the right quality in the market. You can build the right brand in the market over a period of time. And that's where we are open to discuss the topic here. Your questions are most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Manish. Now is the moment here where you all can talk a little bit. Please, are there any questions for any of our panels? Yes. Oh, sorry.
Good morning. My name is Lillian Gishuru with Agra, based in Nairobi. Thanks for those great insights, I think, from all the panelists on the seed technologies that are available, but also what I see is the role of seed technologies in responding to issues of climate change. And one of the issues I'd like to understand maybe more is the regulatory issues that interface with seed technology, and how then you would respond to those regulatory issues, particularly when you need to move seed across the borders, because I feel that this is where we have an interface between the seed regulatory agency and the crop protection agency. And in some countries, these are separate agencies, but how then you would adhere to the regulatory aspects of our country to choosing the seed technology that you have to put in your seed. So that's what I just thought to just understand better. Thank you.
So we have, if I can, your question is just how can we, with the different countries, how we do that, because we didn't hear very well from here. Can you maybe one more time explain? There's a lot of echo here from our side, so I'm very sorry, but if we don't understand the question, we cannot give a good answer. That's the whole start. I'm sorry for that.
I hope you can hear me better.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be better here.
All right. So I think my question is around that you have two technologies. You have the seed, and then you have the crop protection product.
Yeah.
These are regulated in different environments by different, sometimes, agencies.
Okay.
So how does the regulatory environment affect the choice of seed technology?
Now I got your question. Thank you very much. So you have the whole seed technology, but at the same side, you have the whole crop protection and so on. There are two different kinds of technology that both interact. How you see that interaction between those two areas? How can you make sure that you choose the right things for that? Who would?
Can I see the crop protection industry is always kind of a good partners with the seed technology. And that's where the seed technology began actually, because so far we were not knowing the negative sides of the certain crop chemicals, which was being used in the agriculture. And now it's very well known and it's getting restricted to be used in the open environment. And that's where I think we can put those chemicals on the seed in a very precise manner to get it still, the efficient use. And that's where I think there is a good synergy between both the industry. That's a one remark. Secondly, when it comes to the regulations, yes, of course, for each of the country, there are regulations. Without those regulations, we cannot use those chemicals. And in some of the countries, seed treatment chemicals are registered differently. And crop applications, which is in open field, is registered differently. So we have to look at that. If it's not allowed, again, it's another limitations and we cannot use it.
Yeah.
But overall, I don't see any, non-synergy. It's always a synergy between both the industry. And if we use it in the right way, we can deliver the right solution to the farmers. And efforts by seed technologies is always about healthy crop establishment. How can we bring initial 30 days without any trouble, a very good healthy seedling in the farmer's field? And that's where I think most of the seed technologies are aiming.
Yeah. And on top of that, in fact, it's a very good question, because the issue that you state here also interacts in storage, also interacts in production, in every part. You cannot just assume that you can use both side by side. They are intertwined, and you have always to make sure that, for example, a different way how to coat or treat or whatever your seed, that it is correct for the treatment you want to apply. It's not something you can just say, ah, I can forget that, I can do both. You're very right there. Okay, are there any other questions? Yes.
Good morning. I am Dr. Frisco Malabanan from the Philippines, SL Agritech Corporation, working on hybrid rice technology. This is addressed to anybody. Right now, for paddy, direct seeding is becoming popular because of the cost of labor. And we are actually starting to promote the use of drone for aerial seeding and other means of direct seeding. But one of the major problems encountered by the farmers is after the mechanized direct seeding, the uniformity in terms of germination of the seeds in the field is a major concern, particularly in relation to, of course, birds, insects, and other unfavorable climatic conditions. So any recent technology that we can recommend as far as this direct seeding technology as part of the different topics that you discussed, particularly the seed enhancement or in terms of seed coating or whatever. This is addressed to anybody of the speakers. Thank you.
Thank you. Paddy, direct seeding, how to optimize your field stand despite insects, molds, whatever.
Can I make my comment a little bit? In
Close.
Hi, okay. In case of the direct seedling to the field paddy, if seed go to the deeper side, of course, germination decrease happen. So first, field need to be very flat, and the seed need to be sown in the precise depths. Then you can get a nice uniform germination. That is the actually, this is not the seed enhancement area. However, this technology need to be done first before trying the seed technology and the seed enhancement. And if seed field is very flat, and you can possible to sow the seed in nice depths, then maybe you can apply the seed technology like a coating. And now we can find a nice seed coating technology which can protect the seed from the disease. And in some cases, it is helpful to get a nice uniform germination. In industry, in some cases, we can find such technology as well. And now direct seedling has been, direct planting has been increasing a little bit. So in the future, maybe such technology have a chance to expand more and more.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. In Australia, we have had similar problems with birds and ducks in particular in rice. We have done a bit of work with actually coating the seed in a very shiny silver coating, which gives it a metallic look, and that has had a significant decrease in bird attack on freshly planted fields because the birds think it's metal essentially, and they won't touch it.
Okay. Yes, please.
So referring to the Dr. Malaban questions on direct seeded rice, basically the issue with uneven germinations can be addressed, as Dr. Tomoko says, by controlling the sowing depth uniformly for all the seeds. Secondly, when it comes to seed technology, I think bulk priming is another concept upcoming. So far, priming technology we have seen only for expensive vegetables, but there is a very much possibilities to develop a bulk priming technology for a field crops like paddy, which is high volume crops, but still fundamentally we can do it. It's a question of how to make it feasible, how to make it doable, and research need to be done. And when it comes to the birds and insects, there are a lot of repellents available, which can be incorporated in the coating itself, so that those issues in the beginning, when the seeds are sprouting, can be controlled or avoided. Thank you.
Thank you. Another question. Yes.
Hello, myself Shreyash Mankar from Genco Seeds, India. My doubt was like whenever a farmer is taking a palleted seeds and seeds come inside a tin and he removes the seeds to use. Half batch he's using today and half batch he want to use next month. So today, this month, he is going to get a best results, 100% germination. But whenever he is going to use the next month, germination rate drastically gets down. And this issue is majorly for palleted seeds. Non-palleted seeds are giving good results. After 2 months also, germination rate is pretty good. But palleted seeds are like very issue. Like there's farmers are saying that they are taking all the measures to keep the seeds in a good tight containers, in a good dry areas. Still the issue they are facing. So what solution should we provide them?
Thank you. So first, the main part of the question is about aging, but then specifically the impact of pelleting towards aging or losing germination. So there's a lot of things there to cover. You should follow a whole course on storability and so on, but maybe who would like to? I think in storage, we're going to give it.
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think very interesting question and very practical. But I am not sure how to answer it like in a simple way. There are a lot of things going on in there. As mentioned by Mr. Johan, you are looking at seed aging. So upon opening the tin and so on, where is it stored? How is it stored? All those things, I guess, will play a lot of role. But specifically on the effect of pelleting, how can that affect? I guess maybe the pellet people may be able to respond to that in slightly more detailed manner. Yeah.
Then I want to explain a little bit about the pellet and relation of the pellet and the germination. Yeah, if seed quality is enough nice, and if pellet process is controlled precisely, including drying, then normally germination decrease wouldn't happen. And of course, pelleted seed need to be stored in the right condition, like low temperature, low humidity, and the package need to be proper. But everything going well, then everyone can get a nice seed stability of the pellet, and the shelf life would be better. However, such pellet influence always depend on the crop. Some of the seed have short shelf life originally, and some of the seed have the long shelf life. And the longer shelf life seed doesn't get so much influence by the pellet. However, short shelf life seed easily get influenced by the drying condition, pelleting condition, maybe material as well. So it is quite difficult to say what is happen generally after pelleting. It always depends on the seed quality, crop, and the storage condition, package, everything we get. So I can answer such a rough idea only at this moment. However, if you have something specific issue, I want to understand more, and I'm happy to discuss with you. Thank you.
This question is a perfect reason to go to the APSA website and look to the whole thing, because it's not, and all the questions, in fact, it's not an easy answer to say, oh, that's the problem, that's the answer, do this and you're done. You have to understand all the features of that, and there the webinars can give you a huge insight into that. A last question. And you're always welcome to ask more questions to the panel people afterwards or to the committee afterwards or whatsoever. But now the question.
My name is Rajendra Prasad. My question is to Mr. Asle Prasad. See, thank you for the good information on application of the drones and other things. See, we have a huge area for the seed certification, where the physically going is taking a lot of time, efforts. Can we use the drones for the certification or identification or inspections of the huge field, especially in case of field crops? If so, how it can be legally applied for the certification process? This is my first question. The second question is to Dr. Umarani. Yeah, you spoke about the dormancy in all the case, fine. But at the same time, we are facing some problems with the field crops, the pre-harvest sprouting. Of course, there are some technology to avoid that, but still, is there any in a large scale, the advanced technology which we can, especially in case of wheat and some pulses, we are really facing these problems. How to address this issue? Thank you.
But my apologies, we are suffering from a lot of feedback and echo. But my understanding is your question is, can we use drones for seed certification around that? Yeah. In short answer, yes, in that what you can see with the drone is a lot different to what you can see at human eye height. And it can, but it's a combination of the two. So you still need to have your inspector sign off on all your paperwork. I guess the camera technology and the rate with which drones have come along in just the last few years is a classic example of where the technology is exceeding the regulation. So the regulation is not really covering the use of drones for that purpose. However, I would say that they are definitely now a tool to be used. However, you're still going to have the regulation as it stands at the moment still says that you still need your inspector to sign off that and still have a visual inspection of the paddock. Does that answer your question? Oh, yep.
Can you repeat the second question quickly? Sorry.
Sorry, there's a lot of echo here.
See, in some of the field crops, we are facing the pre-harvest emergence. That means before harvesting, that dormancy will break on the plant itself and it start germinating. So that is one of the major problems we are facing in some of the crops. Of course, the crop wise, we have done some kind of spraying. We can avoid the pre-emergence. So that way you have any advanced technology, especially in the huge crops where we are organizing the seed productions, like even in the wheat also, some areas we are finding this problem. So can we have any kind of the pre-harvest spray which can, avoid this pre-emergence, that is before harvest emergence of the seeds on the plant itself? Okay. You got my point?
I think you're talking about like viviparous germination, right?
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, okay. Viviparous germination, that is the technical term used for seeds that germinate while it's still in the field. Yeah, so in some crops, yes, you get this. One of the ways that this can be avoided is by controlling the moisture. It's usually the moisture content that actually induces this. But then it will depend on how soon that germination occurs, because we need a balance, right, between ensuring that the seed is mature enough and avoiding the germination. So in some cases, yeah, they use this. But if you're talking about technology, I guess the best technology will to breed off the viviparity in the seeds, right? I hope that answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you all. I know there are probably many more questions, but please contact one of the members here of our committee to get more information. And also, don't hesitate to tell our committee what are the topics you like to have seen more discussed or worked through a webinar and so on in the coming year. We have done some, you can always get them back so we can get some additional topics in those webinars. So please let us know and we will do that very well. Please an applause for the panel. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. We go to the next part. And I'm very, very proud that I can. Oops. The next speaker is, we have two awardees that has been chosen, and everybody know that are seed technologists who have brought a big impact to seed technology in Asia. And the first one I would like to ask to come to give his presentation is Mr. Michel de Varawara, which is the Vice President of East West Seed International and the awardee of the APSA Most Influential Seed Technologist in the Asia Pacific region in the private sector. Michel, please. And a bigger applause because he's the most influential one. Please. That's good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Co-Chair. So, well, thanks for the opportunity of presenting a little bit of my work over the last 25 years, 26 years to be exact, with East West Seed. This has been a journey of applied technology, and the panelists before me have actually presented a lot of the technology that was out there. And as I said on the first day, this is what we have been doing over the years, is just applying some of that technology and finding out which was the technology that was the most appropriate for us to do, which was the technology that brought the added value to the farmers, but also something that we could sell to the farmers and make sure that they could use that technology. So, oops. First of all, a little bit about me. So I started my career in seed with FAO. I was a junior consultant and then a consultant on seed projects with FAO. In Africa, I was in Mali for 2 years, and then I moved to Bangladesh. Sorry, yes. And then, as I explained, I was asked to start the first integrated vegetable seed company in Bangladesh. And that was quite an experience because from the ground up, we established R&D, production, QA, plant processing in Bangladesh in a kind of a virgin territory for that. So a great experience to be doing this. And this legacy still lives on in Bangladesh, because you see the number of representatives we have today here. All that journey started at that time. And then I moved to Thailand, joined the group there, and then was in charge for operations, first in Thailand and then at the group when we actually became a group. And well, I was given the opportunity to change a lot of things, starting with seed production. And I will not talk about seed production now, but we've been talking a lot about quality. Quality is made in the field, as we know, but it can be perfected in the post-harvest process. So I will talk more about the post-harvest things that we did over the years. So let's start with seed processing. So on my journey, well, East West is a company, young company that has been growing fast. And one of the first things we started to do is bring in the best seed processing plants, facilities, the best buildings, the best storage. We mentioned something about storage there. So I'm giving you here a few dates of all the plants that we established across Asia. And in some places, well, as I said, Bangladesh was the first really modern seed processing plant. Also in Myanmar, we just recently established a vegetable seed processing plant in Myanmar, although modest in size, but it has all the facilities and all the machines that we have for that. A few key principles, and I think our panelists also talked about this. Well, what's good to have in a factory? So when I started and I saw seed processing storage places and factories, I saw that there was a wrong usage of the space, and the square meter land is costing a lot of money. So we exploited the height. So basically you can put much more seed per square meter, and that was bringing efficiency. The key principle of storage, as one of our panelists mentioned, is about, especially in the tropics, about preserving the seed from moisture, the biggest enemy, and high temperature. And for that, of course, we have to establish dehumidified storage room. And God knows we spend a lot of energy keeping these storage rooms cooled and dehumidified. And moisture goes through everywhere, right? So how to build these facilities to protect the moisture from getting in. Then, of course, the processing area, and that has been standards. We can sort seed on different characteristics, size, weight, shape, color, density, different. So we have brought in slowly all the machine, and most importantly, the best and efficient use of the machines. Because it's good to have a machine, but it's not just turning it on. It's how can you optimize seed cleaning lots by lot precisely. Because as I heard somewhere, seed processing, it's not a science, it's an art also. It's you have to almost see every lot and make sure that you fine tune your machines to get the best out of the seed lot. Of course, in-house seed enhancement facilities and fumigation and drying, because again, we live in the tropics, we work in the tropics. Moisture is the biggest enemy, and drying is something that is very important. And we have also perfected that in how to do this, not only after coating, but when the seed just comes into the field. So we have to make sure that we bring the moisture down to a storable percentage. Because the drier the seed, then your insect pests, your storage insect pests are having a hard time getting in. Then the whole line of packaging, but that is fairly standard to every industry. And all our plants are actually ISO certified. And we are very strong in running compliance check on our processes. We continuously train our people for the best use of the machine, the best use of all the things we do. So all this contributes to basically running what we call state-of-the-art facilities. So I'm going to quickly browse you through some of the pictures. I could give you more here, but in the different countries, to just show you how we're doing this. This is in Thailand. In India, we have built different processing. Then, of course, in Thailand, one of the big crops we have in Thailand is glutinous and sweet corn, different than field corn. But for those crops, we decided that it was important that we also build our own facility for drying the cobs, extracting the seeds, cleaning that. So we have all that in-house now. And again, we brought state-of-the-art facilities from the US, good technology applied in Thailand. So of course, the company growing, phase 1, phase 2, we had to continue to increase, improve, seed coating, disinfection facilities. This is the plant in Vietnam. This is our modest plant in Myanmar. I mean, as I said, modest in size, but has some of the equipment we have there. Okay, this has nothing to do with seed technology itself, but as I said, we are big consumers of energy. And we decided a few years ago to put all our plants equipped with solar panels. So I'm proud to say that East West Seed now has about 2,000 kilowatts peak installed of electricity, and that saves us about $100,000 a year in electricity. Sometime our own investment, sometime depending on the country, third-party investment, and paying lower electricity rate because we are making use of that. But that was a very important step that we did also. Now, I'd like to play you a small video here. We are proud of that. It might look like a gimmick, but talking about being efficient in, can you please play the video? Because I'm... to get to your seat. So that's quite nice to have also. Okay, now specifically about seed technology. As I mentioned, this was about finding the right technology, there is a lot of things out there by brilliant seed companies. We did not invent a lot of these technology, but we selected what was the right thing for us to apply on the seed. And the very first thing we did when I joined was coating. And of course, coating was very much available in the West, but not so much mainstream in the East. India was quite advanced when I joined, and I actually learned quite a bit from there. But in Southeast Asia, this was not mainstream. So we started basically learning and applying seed coating on every seed we had. And that was seed coating with some fungicides just to protect the young seedlings from the initial pests and diseases that could happen. Pollen technology, I mentioned it here. This has nothing to do with, well, with seed technology proper, but in our cases, we did that as seed technologists. We experimented on using pollen to produce a lot of varieties of crops. This was managed by the seed technology department. How to do that, how to preserve pollen, how to keep, how to harvest pollen, and how to use it, how to ship it across borders. Because this is a tool for IP protection, mostly, right? So IP is a big issue in Asia, as you know, and pollen is a way to protect that. So we started working on that since the year 2012. Priming, we did some priming. We developed some of our own priming methods, protocols, but we have to realize that priming is not yet mainstream in Asia. The good reason is that the farmers cannot yet see the real benefit of having a seed that germinates a few days earlier. The climate is also not so extreme, especially in temperatures, which is helped by priming. But so in countries where the nurseries industry is starting to develop, this is actually an outlet of prime seed, because for them it is very important that seed germinates a few days faster so that they can rotate the cycles in their facility. Seed health and seed stamping, I will tell about that a little bit later. This is also something we innovated in Asia for the first time. I mean, daring to put a stamp on the seed packet and saying that that seed, we certify that that seed is free from certain diseases, seed-borne diseases. Of course, we have to be careful. There is a disclaimer also that based on a certain number of seeds, we did not find any trace of the disease. But that is also helping the farmer when they see this on the packet, and we educate the farmers about this, that they know that we are doing something on the seed. We are testing the seed. We are making sure that that seed is free from the seed-borne diseases. We did some work on encrusting in onions. And of course, we mentioned about encrusting and pelleting. This is helping sowability of seed. Now, again, in Asia, most of the farmers are planting seed by hand or with very rudimentary machines. We did some test on that in India, but did not really pick up the way we wanted, because the machines are not there yet with all the farmers to make good use of the encrusting technology. But you see, relentlessly, we search on what could help the farmers in making their life a little bit easier. Fall armyworm is a big, oops, time's up. Is my time up? Oh, sorry. We started again finding out what type of treatment we could apply on the seeds to protect the sweet corn on the stage from the fall armyworm. So that is now combined with coating, and we have proud to say that in India we are have introduced that. Then yeah, vigor testing is something we have started doing also. I will tell about this a bit later. How to manage your inventory based on the vigor of seed. So germination is one thing, but vigor is another thing. So how to manage your inventory using vigor testing results. An innovative seed preservation technology. I cannot say too much about this because we'd like to keep that one a secret. But this is basically making sure that whatever seed is in the packet keeps viable for a longer time, even on the dealer shelf. As you know, our dealers are distributors of seed in Asia. They don't have modern facilities. Their shops are in high temperatures, right? And very often the seed that they have in their shop, if they keep it for a few months, could reduce germination. This technology we have applied is actually keeping the viability of seeds longer. And so on and so on. So basically, you can see that this has been a constant research of what can we find to apply what works on seed. Okay, a little bit about seed quality. Seed quality for East West Seed was paramount. That was the most absolute thing that we had to do. So I'm just showing you here a timeline of the different tests that we have been doing in the company. Of course, physical purity, germination, vigor, we just started a little bit later. We decided that it was important that we also look at vigor, as I told you, and that we start managing our inventory with vigor. Moisture content, SMC means seed moisture content. The 1,000 seed weight, we started measuring that also. It started a little bit late because we did not have any computer system that could actually track the 1,000 seed weight properly. So when we introduced our ERP system, we saw that this information was needed for starting to pack seeds in seed count, because this is important for seed count. And then we start measuring this. Seed health is, I have a special slide on this, is a very important thing that we started around 2011. I will develop that a little bit later. Genetic purity testing, of course, when you have hybrid seed, you have to make sure that you test the seed for this. So always we did that in the past with GOT, grow out test, which takes a long time, as you know. Then as the technology evolved, we started using IEF, ISO electrofocusing system to determine through kind of protein-based marker the genetic quality of our seed. When we hired our biotechnologist, and you can recognize that in the years of 2005 to 2010, this is where really the biotechnology started to make a big jump. We moved rapidly into the different sequencing method and the DNA markers. And as you can see, we went through different types of genetic purity testing. But soon, in around 2011, we settled for the SNP system. So we have in-house a facility to check our DNA in our lab in Thailand. Another thing that we felt important was that our lab should be operating at international standard. And the only standard we could think of was the ISTA. And that's how we have become member of ISTA very early on. And since 2011, East West Seed had the first private lab to be ISTA accredited in Thailand. We were very proud of that. And then moved this to Indonesia. India became ISTA accredited in 20, and we are working on becoming ISTA accredited in the Philippines. We are having some hurdles in the Philippines, and that is good that I see the gentleman from ISTA here, because the Philippine government is not allowing any seed for these tests that we have to do. This proficiency testing program is not working. So this is maybe something we can look into. So we cannot bring in the seed and we cannot do the proficiency test. Okay, the key principles, as I mentioned, ISTA operated in-house genetic quality, in-house seed health testing. We are also participants in ISHI. We felt that as East West Seed and as representative of Asian countries, we show our face in ISHI gatherings. And our plant pathologist of the Philippines and our plant pathologist of our seed pathologist actually of India are both attending all ISHI meetings, each and one of them in the groups of cucurbits and solanaceous. Very useful to be there, to put Asia on the map again, to show that there are issues related to seed health in Asia and that we have to tackle them. And again, beside the ISTA renewal, we are doing very frequent compliance monitoring and continuously training our seed analysts. That's very important. I mean, you cannot have a system and believe that the system will run by itself. You have to make sure that people are continuously trained on those methods. Oops, sorry. Seed health, this is also something that we felt as East West very important. In Asia especially. I mean, I know that seed health is a big issue in the West, and if seed with BFB is planted in the US or in Latin America, this can expose the company to $1 million on claim. But in Asia, we said, well, you know, seed quality is okay, the seed-borne diseases are there. No, we thought that we should really make a difference here. And we very early on, starting 2011, we started a comprehensive seed health program on all the categories of seeds. So that means foundation seed, stock seed, and commercial seed. Our seed health policy, which we drafted and implemented in the field, had all the bullet points that you had there. So basically, doing good field sanitation in the field, good cultural practices, field inspection, phytosanitary field inspection. That means training your SPD, your seed production staff on disease. That's what we do so that they are able to recognize some of the disease. And if they do not, take a sample, bring it to our lab for identification. Seed disinfection in all our seed production sites. And maybe I haven't told you, but we are working with close to 15,000 farmers in Asia producing seed for us. We have seed disinfection facilities in all our seed production areas. On the major crops, principally cucurbits and solanaceous crops. Of course, then when the seed comes in the lab, we detect the seed-borne pathogens, we test. If we can treat, we treat, otherwise we discard a lot. So this is how much East West as a company was dedicated to say, we want to provide the best quality seed to the farmers. I mentioned something about the seed health stamping. I will not repeat that. And this is my last slide. Not so much seed technology related, but this is about the ERP system, because of course, our industry relies a lot of data, and you mentioned in the panel also that how data was important. So many data points we need to have on seed. But how do we keep track of that? How do we monitor? How do we manage the hundreds of thousands of batches that are in our warehouses? This is thanks to ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning System. So I was involved in the implementation of the first ERP system in the company in 2005. And then gradually we added all the companies to the same standard. Now we have decided, as the company is still growing in complexity and in numbers, we have decided to move to a new system. So I have been, again, put in charge of implementing this. This is a massive undertaking to put all the companies on a system that works for us. So that's in a nutshell, and maybe a little bit bigger than a nutshell, what we have been doing. And I have to thank also Sandeep, who is here. And Sandeep has been with me for many, many years, helping in developing some of these seed technology programs. So thanks, Sandeep, for these good years. So that's it. Thank you.
Very much. And one more time, congratulations. You do see that you don't get that awardee just by being there. You have to do a lot before you can get that. Are there any questions for Michelle? Now is the time. Yes.
Thank you very much, Andreas Weiss Ister. You mentioned that. And first of all, congratulations also from our side to the reward you well received. And we highly appreciate also from our side to work with East West as a very professional company and taking seed testing as a very professional topic in their area. You mentioned the lab in the Philippines. And there I would like to draw your attention that there is a lab accredited in the Philippines, not your lab, but another one, Philippine 3, one of your competitors internationally. That means that they are getting the seeds in for proficiency test into the country. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. And maybe a phone call to them can help. You use the ISTA website, also with the new one I saw with your presentation of the crop groups and the scope of accreditation. And there you will find the other company and maybe they can help. There must be a trick to get it. Just as an information from us. And thank you for your very good presentation.
Thank you. Yes, I think we are aware that there is an ISTA lab. I think it's a government ISTA lab. So is it not a government lab?
Philippine 3 is Cortiva.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
not a secret because it's on the website anyway.
Yeah.
And it's a Cortiva lab and they are accredited and they get the samples into the country.
Okay, well then I think it's a very good input that we will find ways of getting the samples in for the proficiency tests. So we're also working at the government level, basically to facilitate this, because imposing PRA on species of graminees that we need for the ISTA proficiency testing, it's a little bit overboard, but we'll take that on board. Thank you very much for your suggestion.
Any other questions or support or remarks? No.
Well, thank you.
One more time, thank you very much, and maybe see you again in a few years to be again the best one. Who knows? Sandeep will be here. Okay, good. Now we come to the second person that is an awardee, and that is, and I hope I say right the name because it's always difficult for non-Indians or to speak those words, but Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He is a Vice Chancellor of the University of Agricultural Sciences in Bangalore, and is the awardee of APSA Most Influential Seed Technology in Asia Pacific for the public sector. So please, an applause for Mr. Prasad.
Thank you.
And the floor is yours.
Okay. Good morning to all of you, respected chairman, co-chair, and respected delegates. First of all, I would like to thank APSA for giving me the award as well as opportunity to share my journey as a seed technologist. If you look at the things, how we in the university work, we always take the feedback from the industries and different stakeholders, including the farmers. Then we formulate the program and we try to find the solutions for the problems faced by different stakeholders. In this, just before I start these are the positions which I had. I started my career about 3.5 decades back as a research assistant in the project called World Bank National Seed Project. Then I worked on the different aspects. Then I took over as the director of Indian Institute of Seed Science. It is at North India, that's in Uttar Pradesh, where we are catering the needs of the research and also the breeder seed productions. Then, of course, I came back after 5 years, took over as the Dean, College of Agriculture at US Bangalore. Then I took over as the Vice Chancellor, and last month I completed my tenure as the Vice Chancellor for the University of Agricultural Science, Bangalore. And here we are concentrating on the research, teaching, and extension. These are all the three components where we do. In the teaching, we have a separate department called seed technology. Of course, we have developed almost 400 plus masters and about 50 members as the PhD students. Most of them have been, working in the industries, seed industry, and many of the people have become the, self-seed entrepreneurs. That was the contribution from the Agriculture University. Under my guidance, I could see 9 PhD students have worked and about 14 students have worked for the MSc. Always consult the industry people also will be there in the committee. They will also observe. That is how we have, make the programs and look for the seed technological aspects. And of course, these are all my publications during this one. If you look at the research, in the research, what we did, of course, we have different projects related to the seed technology, starting from seed to seed. And we have worked, it is not only the research, we are given the surveys in terms of creating infrastructure for the quality seed productions and also quality management across the state and also across the country. And recently, I got one project on, that is a National Agricultural Education System, where it is again the World Bank project, where that is a CAS, that is Center for Advances in Agriculture, Science and Technology, where we were, Dr. Manish was talking about the climate change. Yes, this project we are concentrating on the next generation technology for adaptive agriculture, where we are facing a lot of climate change, in which we have concentrated on the how we can produce more by less, like the resources like water and other aspects. The second one is the precision crop breeding, where we can address these climate resilient varieties, development of climate resilient varieties. And the third and the most important, more related to the seed technology, is the seed biopriming by using the endophytes to address both biotic and abiotic stresses. At the same time, I think in the panel discussions, there is a seed enhancement, the techniques wherein we are using this biological material for the seed enhancement. It is really doing a lot with less investment. And the last objective under this project was forecasting of the diseases, especially the designated diseases for the major crops. This is a real-time forecasting we are taking. And at the same time, we are giving the solution for those things. And the another one which we have taken is the pilot scale. We have taken based on the, Biodiversity International, the concept here, the seed platform here, bringing all the stakeholders on the single platform, and that should get the ready reckoner by pooling the data which is available everywhere with respect to the seed. So again, because of this, we got the patents also. One is on the sub-matrix storage system. This is recently we have developed. Here it is reducing the, almost removing the air in the container, almost like a vacuum packing. But here we have used the stainless steel material, where we can preserve the seed for the longer time, especially the high value seeds. That is the one thing which we have done. Then again, rapid and accurate point here lamp calorimetric diagnostic dipstick. Here it is almost replacement or alternative to the DNA fingerprinting. Here what we are doing, we are using the small quantum of the DNA of the pathogen and identify. Now we started, it's in the beginning stage. We would like to go for all the designated diseases, so that we can quickly give the results to the people, so that they can move the seeds very fast. That was the thing. Okay. See, if you look at some of the significant achievements what we have made during the my journey, and we started with the determination of the seed standards and also the field standards. Though we follow the seed and field standards based on the ISTA guidelines, and we have the National Blue Book, but still some of the standards it's not working in during that time. And whatever the varieties and the hybrids we developed, we used to start working, and we developed these starting from the isolation distance and also the protocols for the testing of the seeds, and also the synchronization. This is one of the important aspects in case of sunflower. We are the pioneers in development of the hybrid sunflower in the country, first time in the country. And we started series of the hybrids, and every hybrid we work the synchronizations and also the pollen storage. One of the important issue which we have done here, the farmers were not able to get the sufficient pollens when there was a peak flowering. At what we did, see, local make, that is in earthen part, we could able to store the seeds for almost, it acts as like a refrigerated at the rural level. And farmers have started using this, and they could store the pollens for almost 72 hours. As a result, they could take very good pollinations and a good seed setting. This was one of the things. And the hybrid rice. In fact, we are the first public sector rice hybrids we have made in the country, especially KBS, KRH1 and 2. And it has ruled in the North India. Here we have developed all the protocols starting from isolation till we pack it. So the package for the seed productions. Similarly, see during 1990, we started working on the characterization of the seeds which are in the seed multiplication chain, because the certification industries was facing the problem with respect to the identification of the off types. So what we did from the ICR system, they have given the task. We have evaluated the seeds which are in the multiplication range. They are during that time, we characterized based on the UPAVA guidelines, and we also identify the diagnostic character, and we brought out the manual so that can be referred by the certification agency, though, so that they can ensure the proper rogging of the plant. So this we have done it for the rice, the hybrids and the high yielding varieties, parental lines, sunflower, all the hybrids and the parental lines, and the maize. And this based on their morphological characters and also biochemical characters, like the phenol test, ferrichloride test. So like that quick test we can use and identify some of the other crop varieties which are there in that, and also DNA markers. Of course, we started with the protein isozymes, then we have now come to the molecular markers, and then pollen storage, which I already mentioned. Then recently we have come out with the hydroponics, how we can really go for the hydroponics and produce the seeds. This I'll going to explain later. This we have done in collaborations with one of the private seed company. Then when come to the seed treatment, of course, most of the deliberation has been made. We have made based on the crop pre-sowing seed treatment, how it really helps, especially in the case of some of the problematic crops, the field crops which we have done for the groundnut, sunflower, such kind of things. And also some of the brucates which we are facing with respect to the storage of the pulse crops. You see, some of the crops we could see base in the crop itself, it starts, laying of the eggs, and it carries to the storage. In that case, why can't we have this, environmental friendly chemicals? Because we have the chemicals, but instead of that, can we go for some of the edible and non-edible oils which can protect? Really, he has given a good results, like karanj oil, neem oil. If you treat at the rate of 5 ml, it has given very good. And many of our farmers are using this. Even more than 2 years, we can store the seeds without damaging to the seed quality. So this is one. Then endophytes. This I'm going to talk in the future. There is one slide. Okay. Seed testing. So in the seed testing, though we are following ISTA, as I mentioned, some of the crops like underutilized crop, now we call it as a potential crops like rice, bean, and also some of the grain amaranthus. These are all the crops which need this seed testing protocols, which we have done in addition to the cumin, bitter gourd, and we have used. So again, the SRSR markers for our own hybrids, not only for the hybrids which have developed from the public sectors, we started working on that. So though it is not legally accepted by the certification agency, but for the in-house, the quality assurance, we have made it as a mandate so that all the parental seeds and the hybrid seeds should have this kind of data, so that there should not be any kind of contamination when it goes to the field. So these are all the things which we have done for most of the crops. Not only these crops, even at the national level, most of the private, most of the our public sector hybrids, we have done it as a mandate. Again, physiology. Of course, today morning, Dr. Usha Radni has mentioned about the dormancy. Of course, the dormancy is also creating a problem for the germination, especially some of the crops. And we have come out with the technology where we can break the dormancy by mechanical means or the chemical means. That was the contributions. Again, the packing materials, which were deliberated by earlier speakers and other things. We worked on what should be the package material for the moisture pervious and impervious and resistance container. So we worked for the most of the field crops, and we have come out with the recommendations for all the crops. So coming to the seed processing, of course, Dr. Sanjay also mentioned, you see, in the Indian seed certification system, though it is there in the blue book, unless the new varieties which we develop, that should find a place in our book, so that the certification agency will follow and it will be easy. Therefore, it was a mandate for all the state the SAUs. They are working for this standardization of screen size for the most of the varieties and the hybrids which are released. Again, the drying protocols, of course, the moisture content in the one of the critical the factor which really influences. At the same time, we cannot dry at higher temperature, so we have standardized the protocols for these crops. So what should be the optimum temperature to have the desirable moisture content for the storage? Again, the information, the management software in the public sector, of course, most of the private sectors are following it. So we are the first in the public sector to have this software where from seed to seed, starting from the nucleus seeds, breeder seeds, foundation seeds, and the farmer who is going to organize the seed productions, we have made it as a, design and the system. So here, this is the one, the smart seed production and storage technology from our CAS program. That is the program which we have developed recently. Here we have created a environment that is a polyhouse, and where we can regulate the temperature, humidity, and the light, and also fertigation system, where we would like to incorporate this IoTs and also the sensor for the each crops. Here we are giving this place for the students as well as the researcher to develop the protocols under the precision farming, how we can produce the seeds. This was the thing. So of course, this is the storage technology. And this is the one platform which I mentioned here is bringing all the sectors, the public sectors and the private sectors and the distributors. Especially we are finding difficulties in the bulky crops. Of course, the high value crops have been addressed by the most of the private seed company. Being the public sector, we also look at the the demand or the requirement of the people, especially the field crops, where multiplication itself is a problem in some cases. So therefore, what we did, we have planned the consortium mode where we can bring all the agencies, that is the private, the farmers and the retailers, and also the technical inputs and the consumer and the market. So this is one which we have made. So this is the one Beach Hadar we have made. Here we are having about 680 delivery, that is the dealers, 5 public sectors, 25 seed companies. And also here what we have done, we are not only accessing the information for the seeds where it is available. In fact, we have requested, we have all the private sector, they can upload the data here. They can upload the technology, what they have involved or evolved in this, so that the farmers can access on their mobile. So here, for example, farmers wanted the paddy seeds. If you go to the paddy, it gives the list of varieties. When say variety, where it is available near to him, that is the kind of information. And also some people have given the what will be the cost of the seed. So that is the kind of things. Once it is there, when you go to the package of practices, it will gives all the details about what are the package of practices yes to adopt. So that is the kind of system which we have done. Again, there are some advanced technologies like, the invigoration treatments, coating treatments, whatever it is available, crop specific, that also we are uploading so that the farmers can access those informations and adopt. That was the things which we have made. Then the last one is a service link. So service link we have given to the, sorry, labs, that is seed testing laboratories and any other services is there in case of disputes. So they can also take the service of legal or some case, some kinds of the producer, sometimes the dealers. So the single platform they can resolve. So that kind of thing we have made in this system and it is doing well. Again, automated seed vending machines. This is the one innovations from our directorate. So we were, so many people are demanded, sir, we need some kind of, especially in the urban area, the small seeds, packet of seeds. So we started this by, making the vending machines. So for the high value crops and the low volume crops. So where we have placed these vending machine in most of the bus stands, railway stations, where the farmers can access, and it is doing well, especially in case of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and the Karnataka. I think you have seen even in the IRI, that is Krishi Bhavan, you could see this one. This is one thing. Then another one is during the 12th 5-year plan, we are given more emphasis for the seed health test, because when it is a public sector, when you say quality certifications, we consider only 2-3 factors unless it is asked for. So during that time, what we would like to make the seed health is one of the mandate, and we have developed the total protocols for the, most of the diseases, and we have circulated to all our public sector, the laboratory, so they should adapt. Again, of course, the controlled atmospheric storage, where we can arrest the multiplication and growth of the insects, which we have done for some of the bulky crops, where we can reduce the carbon dioxide concentrations and increase the reduce the oxygen and increase the carbon dioxide concentrations. As a result, we could store our seeds for the longer time. So this is what I was talking. One of my students, she was the winner of the Prime Minister Fellowship, first time in the university. And in collaboration with the BAF, we have done this exercise, and we have compared the traditional way of the cultivations, at the same time hydroponics and the aeroponics. And in terms of the yield, in terms of the quality of the seed, we found hydroponics is the best. Only the problem here, what we are facing, it is highly precision. We must ensure all kind of supports to this system, then we get a better things. And here we can also avoid, you see, sometimes the isolation is a problem, genetic contamination is a problem. In that case, this is the one. Now, because of this result, we got a, we have returned to the government of Karnataka for the funding. It should go in a commercial scale. So what we did, we have made 2 acres of this plant. One is exclusively to develop the protocols for the seed productions of the various crops. And another one is exclusively demonstrations and human resource development for the throughout the year. So this will be in collaborations with the private sector. Whatever the protocols we develop, that they are going to demonstrate and also execute in the next block, so that the people will get attracted and do these things, because nowadays we are facing the constraints for the land. So again, today and yesterday in the inaugural function also, they were talking about the breeding and the seed technology. You see, these 2 things should go together. Unless we go together, I think we have some kind of the problem. So here we started working. So even in the morning, we have told about the use of the breeding tools. One of the crops which are facing the problem is the soya bean, especially during the storage and also before harvest. In that case, I've given this problem to my own students. And here we have go for the genome wide association studies for the longevity. We identified some of the local, the block seeded soybean, which is really good for the long storage, and crossed with our regular varieties. And we got the very good populations, and we got the very good results, so that this populations are this QTLs is going to help us to develop the varieties which are having the long the viability storage period after the same time, and the productivity will be more. So another area where we were, planned and done this one is the, kind of the endophytes. Here in this endophytes, what we did, we have scouted the, plants from the various growth habitat, like, Jammu, Kashmir, and some places like Tarazad in Rajasthan, and also Kerala. We identified the, endophytes, and we have tried for the 4 or 5 crops like cereals, pulses, and oilseeds, and vegetables also. And here what we got, the very good results we got here. And we finally gone for the maize. So these are the endophytes, because most of our crops grown the maize in case of the dryland ecosystem, that is rain-fed. Under that situations, can we apply these endophytes? See that can be biopriming of these endophytes. So really we got the very good results. And so now it is not only the addressing the, drought, but also this has given, we are gone to the level of transcriptome studies, wherein there's some of the enzymes like phosphate solubilizing bacteria, IAA, these are all triggered and has helped in the good growth and increasing the yield levels of the quality seeds. So this is one area. Again, in the morning, they were talking about the nanotechnology, application of nanotechnology. Yes. So we have done the nanotechnology for the germinations and other things. Here we have gone for the application of these nanoparticles for the controls of these storage, especially in the pulses. Here we have again going for the green nanotechnology. So we have scouted for green nanotechnology from guava leaves and also spinach leaves and also the paddy straw. So out of these three, we got the zinc nanoparticles from the spinach, the leaves. It is doing good job in the control of these the insects, especially the bruchids. The other one was on the paddy straw. We have isolated the silica, the nanoparticles, and both are effective. It is as good as the one, the spinoside, the recommended. It is better than that, the results we got it. I think future days we can think of, especially for the wherever there is a problem with the this storage pest. So coming to the extension part, of course, we have developed many innovative the models for the production of the seeds. We call it as a scientist farmers participatory seeds. We give the seeds basic material and we will identify the farmers and see that they will be taken, they will be trained 3 times in the crop period based based on the principles of seed village concept. And we produce the seeds and we take back the seeds. This was the thing. And again, we will distribute to the farmers at the nominal cost. So this we have done both in the Uttar Pradesh as well as in the Karnataka. As a result, many farmers have become their social, the status that has been increased at the same time. So the farmers' own saved seeds were being used earlier. So that was replaced by this kind of seeds by increasing the purity. And also this has increased the varietal replacement. That means the new varieties which are released is going to be in the seed chain at the faster rate. So, and also seed replacement rate. This is one of the mandates. So again, with respect to the, I'm from our university, we have exported the seeds, especially the sunflower hybrids to the Uganda. This is the first of its kind from the public sector of our own university. We have exported and still we are exporting these sunflower seeds. Again, so coming to the policies issues, of course, we have revised the minimum seed certification standards by collecting all the data during the 2015 with the support of the government of India, that is DSC. Again, we have, prepared the document for the what should be the seed system by 2030 and 2050 as per the mandates of the things. Then these are all the collaborations we have made. As a public sector organizations, we got the opportunity to initiate the establishment of 2 seed productions come demonstration blocks at the Republic of Rwanda and Tagalog. So we did a lot of exercise and we established, and then the International Seed Testing Association. In fact, 2 public sector labs have been, members, and now they are in the process of the accreditations. One is from US Bangalore, and they have followed the proficiency test, and they are almost through. And another one is at Mau, that is Indian Institute of Seed Science. We have established, and it's going there. Then capacity building, especially for the Asian countries and African countries, we have done in collaboration with IRRI and also other departments. So here, since the seed is the one input, we have a collaboration with all the crop, institutes, and we used to develop the technology which is required for the respective crops and go it as a recommendations. So these are all the HRD programs which we have done from our university. So not only the group meetings, seed group meetings. Here, one important thing, every meeting we used to invite the private sector and take their inputs, and we used to formulate our technical programs based on that. So again, these are all the programs which I skipped. And the institutional buildings. See, as my earlier the speaker mentioned about the processing plants and other things, we have built almost to the Karnataka southern part where we have, come into our jurisdiction. Almost every district should have this minimum infrastructure. Our motto is to seeds of these local district wise, they produce their own seeds and distribute there itself. This was the thing, whether it is a private or public. So this is the like a platform we have created. Now it is going on well. In addition to this, we have also created the seed testing laboratory to ensure the quality of those areas. So again, the godons, seed construction godons for the storing of these things. Here, we have also involved the farmers producer organizations for organizing the seed productions and also take back the seeds and for the distributions for those areas. So again, see, if you look at the India, the southern part, that's Bangalore, most of the private seed companies are having R&D facilities. So I thought the Indian Institute of Seed Science, which is located in the eastern UP, so can we have one regional stations to cater the needs and to address the some kind of service, especially and R&D services to be extended. And we have established the Indian Institute of Seed Science regional stations at Bangalore, and almost 10 scientists are working, and it is exclusively for the giving service to the private sector and also the public sector with respect to the different seed technological aspects. So of course, we have established many, the breeder seed production center, STR center. Again, another significant achievement we have made is the establishment of seed system in the northeastern areas, regions, because it is a small and each state is requiring a different seed material, and it is in a small quantity. As a result, many of the players are not willing to go, but now we have developed the model where they can develop and produce their own seed, even if there is a large scale or the small scale. So again, the QR coding, which we have done, I'll tell at the end. So public-private partnership, what we have done here, of course, the BSF for the soilless system we have done. Then again, the facilitating sponsors the research, with our STRC technology research units. Of course, the Incotech, we have done the seed coating techniques. We have validated many of them on the sponsorship, and we have given the results. And Western, the Fedson India, this is Zero Fly, that is impregnated insecticides for the packing materials. So these are all some of the things which we have done. Again, some of the 25 seed companies have registered under our Bijata and taking the services. So this is what I was talking about, the traceability. This was the one which I introduced when I was the director of the Indian Institute of Seed Science, where the starting from the nucleus seeds, you should be known where exactly the nucleus seeds has been produced and who was the monitoring that, because sometimes we used to get a lot of complaints. To avoid those things, we have made this system the automated from seed to seed sale accessibility. We have the traceability of the things which we have done for the public sector varieties and the hybrids. Of course, these are all some of the recognitions which I got this one. So with this, I'd like to thank you, and thanks to the organizers for awarding me, and also the opportunity which they have given me to share my views. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Prasad. And also congratulations again for your award. Any questions to Dr. Prasad? Yes, one. No, there's none there. You see, technology is still very important if it works.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prasad, for your presentation, and congratulations on your award. It is evident as to why you did win this prestigious award. And you've shown, I think, a lot of progress you've made in this area. But one of the things that catches my attention is the automatic seed vending machines. And one of the things I wanted to know is that whether you're also able to optimize the seed storage conditions in these seed vending machines. But one of the things about seed distribution system is to be able to offer extension support to the people that actually get seed from these machines. And I think this is a technology we could also take back home to Africa, where we come from, but also whether those vending machines are currently manned so that you can provide extension support. Thank you. And also whether you've seen increased sales by having these vending machines. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. The seed vending machines we have made based on the concept, there should not be any damage to the seeds because the containers which we use to store them is the one where we remove the moisture to the safer level and pack it and store. This is one thing. Again, in the container itself, we maintain the low temperature and also the low humidity. As a result, it prolongs the storage life of the seeds. Of course, the sales has been increased in the urban areas where they are going for the terrace gardening, kitchen gardens, and all those places. In fact, our target audience, our target customers was those people because they can't go for small seeds, search of the sales, this one. So that is how we have made it, and it is going on well as far as these seeds are concerned. Again, at the same time, we get the queries once they get the material. We get the queries if we want in a large scale where we have to address or where we have to approach. So that way we are getting a lot of queries so that we are expanding and giving a lot of informations. That is one way of increasing our contacts with the customer and increasing the sales.
Thank you very much. Can I ask Michelle also one more time to come to the front, because I want a remembrance, I want a picture with both awardees, if that would be possible. And of course, our vice chair. Okay, can I also ask the committee members to join us here, because never forget that this award is coming through the Seed Technology Committee of APSA. And one of the first, and you are the first ones ever elected on that, or awarded on that. So, yeah. Okay. Yes.
Could we have a group photo with the committees and the two awardees, please? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the two awardees.
And we would like to take a last small picture only with the committee, because the committee members still here, because we have worked together now for 3 years without seeing each other. Seeing each other, yes, through a computer screen, but it is 3 years that we did not physically were able to be together. So that's a good thing. Thank you very much.
So this is a small token to the committee members for APSA that they have been working tediously to APSA with many webinars and suggestions and the new initiative. So thank you very much, APSA Seed Technology Committee members. Not only the people who are here, we also have a few more members who cannot join us in this event, but they are watching virtually. A big round of applause for them, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so we come to the last agenda of closing remarks. May I invite Dr. Manish Patel for a short closing remarks. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the audience, whoever is here since morning. And this committee is not now quite big. What you see here is still 2 members missing, those who cannot attend this Congress. Otherwise, this committee is made of now almost all the leading countries as a representative. And with my closing remarks, I don't want to take you a long time, but the major request is keep giving us the feedbacks, suggestions, the topics which you want to address, so that we can consider in next year webinars. Because every year we will be doing 3 webinars. And those webinars, normally we don't decide by ourselves. We always ask the APSA members, we run the survey, and then we pick up the topics. So that's my humble request. Please come up with the topics which you want to address, and then committee can find out the best speaker in the world to address those topics. And apart from that, if any country who is not on the board as of now on our committee, you can see our committee list on the APSA website. And if someone is interested to join the committee, please feel free to apply. We would love to welcome you at our committee. Of course, there are certain criteria, but we would like to have a more representation from the countries where we do not have presence as of now. So with this, once again, thank you all of you for listening us, joining this session of the morning. And I wish all the best for today, being the last day. So have a good meetings, good fun in the night for the gala dinner. Thank you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending the technical session on C technology. May I kindly request everyone to please exit the room. We are going to run the rehearsal for the annual general meeting. Lunch is already served. You can have lunch. For all voting representatives, please be reminded to please go and register yourself for the AGM at the registration booth. For any voting representatives, doors will open again at 1:30 to come into the room for the annual general meeting. Any delegates who wish to attend can also attend as an observer. But as of right now, may I kindly ask everyone to please help to clear the room. Thank you very much.